Hey, Virgo, intuitive soul coach here with your June 2023 love and family reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, so Virgo, let's see what we have in store for you. Oh, wow. You are being divinely guided to move forward out of some limiting beliefs, habits, patterns. Some of you are disconnecting from responsibilities, from your job, or just from the hectic, busy schedules that we happen to live our lives with at times. Because in the recent past, you do have an upcoming adventure. So it wouldn't surprise me if this upcoming adventure happens to be in the month of June or even into July. You could be traveling, taking a road trip, spending time in nature, camping, hiking, canoeing, kayaking. You do have the great outdoors here showing up. I also like the colors that I'm seeing, which is red and blue. So some of you may be visiting family as well, because that's the root chakra. So this can pertain to family dynamics, where we grew up. Some of you may be visiting home, or there could be a birthday party celebrating a young one who's maybe even between the ages of 0 and 7. We also have blue, communication showing up, working with others. This is about collaborating, connecting with maybe even a travel agent or a therapist. I do sense that there could be some clear communication. Look at that water there, Virgo. The water is smooth, it's calm. So there is more peace coming in for you. If you've been quite chaotic and things have seemed quite hectic here in your world, the adventure that you are planning, or some sort of trip or time out, is going to do you a world of difference here. I also sense with the feather card showing up that the month of May, June, or July, it could have certainly been a month where someone has crossed over. It could be a celebration of sorts. It could also be a graduation that someone in spirit is acknowledging as well, graduating maybe from a class, from a college, from high school. I do feel that there's going to be either a birthday celebration or reunion, or a coming together where you may be reminiscing of times around loved ones who are no longer here, okay? And you may actually see feathers that show up, Virgo, in your environment as well. So pay attention to the feathers. I get that there could be a very unique feather, possibly one that you hadn't seen, maybe that color or that size, or there could be some spotting on it as well. Very unique, I'm seeing here. And it doesn't have to be from a bird. I mean, it could be a feather where someone is wearing, a feather piece on their clothing, and it comes off and you find it, right? It doesn't have to be in the traditional sense. So think outside the box here, because I feel like you're receiving some messages from spirit, from loved ones, letting you know you're on the right path, letting you know that it's okay to take some time out, and that someone is watching over you here and watching over your family. Now, in the near future, you do have the Tin Cup. I like this, even though it's showing up in a love and family reading here, because it's about fulfillment. It is about you loving what it is that you are doing right now, whether you are a caregiver in your professional world, because the past, the family dynamics, the relationships that you've been in, all of it amounts to who you are today, right? It's the conditioning as well. So I do feel like we have a lot of Virgo healers out there. And for others of you, there could be even a work trip showing up in the near future that you may be able to take family on. Okay, that's pretty specific, but I mean, this could be to, I'm getting two, okay, thank you. They're giving me Hawaii, and then I'm also hearing Finland as well. I mean, some of you may live in Finland. Maybe you're traveling from Finland to Hawaii. Please take that as it resonates. Very specific here. But I love the Tin Cup, because this is about you filling your cup as well. What are you filling that is feeling fulfilled? I'm getting 9 and 10 of cups. So I'll be curious to see if that shows up in your reading. 9 and 10 of cups. I also sense here the Queen of Cups, or even King, because there's a lot of love, a lot of nurturing energy. But let's take a look and see What is the main energy? What is the heart of the matter here for Virgo in the month of June 2023? I'm also getting the name here. Okay. Is that a last name, first name? It could be Brenton. I mean, that could be a location. It could be a last name. It could be a first name, Brent or Brenton. Please take that as it resonates. All right. What do we have for Virgo? Heart of the matter, June 2023. Opportunity beckons. This is the Four of Cups, which it's okay here because yes, there's been loss. There's been grief, right? That's inevitable. It's part of the human experience. But I feel like you are focusing not on what you don't have. It's now allowing yourself to move forward and say yes to the new opportunities that are out there. Okay, whether it's a new opportunity to come together with, it could be family members through a reunion. I'm also sensing that there could be a marriage or an event that brings the family together, and maybe you haven't seen some of these family members and you may even think, oh, I really don't want to go to that, but I feel like you're going to go anyway because maybe it's your child that is graduating, or maybe it's something that you are connected to the person that's hosting it. And I feel like there's an opportunity for you to step into your power and for you to forgive, or someone may come up to you. I'm getting forgiveness here as well. So Virgo, there could be an apology coming your way. For others of you with this Four of Cups, you felt frustrated, you felt bored, you felt impatient. Those are human emotions that we can get in, right? I sense that June is the month to reach out. June is the month for you to plan, right? Plan an upcoming adventure with family. Get back in tuned. Instead of the heavy busyness and hectic schedules that we tend to fall into, a routine, I'm sensing that June is the month to shake up that routine a little bit more. Now also, for those of you that are traveling for work, there's going to be a little bit of fun as well. So there's pleasure and play along with work, which is great. Let's see what the challenge for you this month is. What's the challenge and how can we help you navigate through it? What do we have here, please, for Virgo? The challenge. Thank you. The challenge for you sometimes is getting out of our own way, right? We sometimes trip things up. We start to overanalyze and overthink, and we tend to come to worst case scenario. We tend to not even know how future plans are going to turn out, but our whole mind has a complete picture of how something could turn out, and we could catastrophize, right? Too far into the future is an illusion. Too far into the past is an illusion. Enjoy the moment. That's the challenge for you. Not over worrying, overthinking. Some of you, I just heard the word overpacking. Who's an overpacker? Say I, right? You fill up a month's worth of stuff and jam it in a suitcase. So some of you may be overpackers. That's funny. If you have travel coming in, you don't need all of that stuff. I feel like you're not even going to use it or wear it anyway. For some of you out there, Eight of Swords. This can be about feeling helpless and hopeless, or you can change that energy to helpful and hopeful. The choice is yours. This card reminds me of having that free will, having the option here to let go of a mental story or to run with it and believe it, even though it's just a fantasy, just an illusion. It's not even the truth, right? The Eight of Swords energy is feeling trapped and restricted and opening our eyes to the truth. But the good news is you have this showing up here as a challenge that you can resolve. And the way that you can resolve it is moving towards freedom. It is about you releasing the mental conflicts that the Eight of Swords brings about by moving towards freedom, freeing your thoughts, releasing yourself. Now you can do this by getting out in nature, right? Getting out in nature, not focusing on the mundane tasks, the responsibilities of everyday life. You can do this by a gratitude journal. You can do this by getting what's off your chest and your heart, maybe speaking it out into existence through maybe therapy. It could be speaking to a trusted friend or a family member. For those of us who tend to hang on to things in the mind, meditation is a really powerful key and a powerful tool, because sometimes we feel restricted, like we don't have a choice. But look at that. The sun is shining on the other side here. So know that you always have a choice. It's up to you. And this has been showing up quite often. And I do feel, because sometimes we get stuck in one way thinking, or we tend to, again, trip up over our own energy. This is about backing up, giving the universe some breathing room to work its magic, and knowing that something is far better off for you here. And even though you may not see what this is yet, I feel if you just let go and let God, as Wayne Dyer always said, it's going to bring about a lot of happiness, a lot of good times. Now, some of you may feel like it's a big headache to prepare or get ready for something, right? It could be such as, this is just an example. Maybe some of you are getting married, and there's so much to do around getting married, and it seems like so much work for, a wonderful night that hopefully you'll never forget. But I am getting the energy here of exhaustion for some of you. So that could be an example. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it is building a home. It could be moving. So there is this feeling here of at times overwhelmed, or saying, oh, that's not going to work out. I'm not going to be able to make that happen in time. There's just a lot going on. That's why it's important here for you, Virgo, to reach out, ask for help. And if you are struggling with mental conflict, bring in a shaman, bring in a healer, a coach, a mentor, a psychic, someone who can help you, or a therapist, guide, whoever this may be, to help you overcome some of these mental hurdles. You have what it takes. There's a new opportunity here, one that looks really quite wonderful, with the fulfillment card showing up here, fulfilling your cup. Because sometimes when we focus so much on the logical or the mental, our mind, and this is another thing that's been showing up more than once, our mind can talk us out of what our heart wants us to do. Maybe our heart is saying, I need a break. I need downtime. I really want to travel or book this trip. And then the mind comes creeping in and says, oh, well, Virgo, you don't have enough money to do that. There's not enough time. Who's going to cover your shift? Who's going to watch the kids? Who's going to watch the pets? Right? We start to overthink things. And then we don't even want to do what originally our heart is guiding us to do. That's the challenge, but you have the tools, the resources, the help, the support to not let that mental mind overrule what your heart wants. All right, let's take a look at the foundation. What's in the deep, deep past? What are you built upon here, Virgo? Oh, the Judgment. The Judgment is all about you blossoming and becoming the person that you've always wanted to become. The person that's always been there all along. You've been a soul, but you're having a human experience. And through those experiences, you become a better and better version of yourself. At least that's what we would like to think, right? But again, you have that free will to choose if you want to become bitter or better. Do you want to go with the rule of life is happening for us or to us? Because when you see it from that higher perspective and know everything is in divine timing here, that everything is happening as it should, not to resist the change, then it allows us to get out of our own way. And it allows the universe to bring in what is truly meant for us, right? The Judgment card can be difficult because we can tend to judge. We can criticize ourselves, our others. We can tend to stay in our wounds because sometimes it feels better to lick our wounds than it does to fully heal them, right? Sometimes we stay in a victim mentality. We ignore the calling. We ignore what our heart wants. We avoid change. We judge ourselves too harshly. But this is saying that you have this second chance, this opportunity here, Virgo, to change your life for the better, to do some evaluating, do some reflecting. There's a rebirth happening here. Forgiveness may be necessary on your end or someone else's, but this is about you blossoming into that version of yourself that not only do you want, but that you know you are capable of becoming. Very powerful energy here. And I'm getting, I have goosebumps. I'm getting here a lot of emotion coming in. It could be grandfather or father energy as well. Or it could be a female who has the masculine energy of don't give up, right? It's that energy of you have what it takes. Your biggest cheerleader in a sense. Someone who may have been, I don't want to say hardcore, but someone who may have said, suck it up, buttercup, but not in a negative way, in one that was coaching and guiding type of energy. Please take that as it resonates. Now let's look into the recent past. How is the recent past still playing a role in your present? What do we have here for Virgo, please? What do we have for Virgo? Ace of Pentacles. Some of you moved. Some of you relocated. Some of you may have had to go through a loved one's home. Maybe it was your childhood home when they had crossed over, or it could be going through. I'm getting antiques for some of you. For others of you, there could have been a relationship that you've been in. Maybe it feels ancient. Maybe it feels antique. Maybe you've been with this person for quite some time. Now, it's interesting dichotomy here because the Ace of Pentacles is all about a new beginning. It is about strengthening those bonds. It is about a new beginning here when it shows up in your home or in your physical world. So a lot of you wanted this new beginning, and you may have even manifested this new beginning. But they're showing me here a plane. Some of you have your pilot's license, or some of you live by an airport. Some of you may be on a plane while you're listening to this. They're showing me a plane at this time, but I also sense a plane that is either delayed or it is difficult to take off. Now, I feel like this is more symbolic. The plane may be physical that you actually see or have seen in the past, but I'm getting the symbolism of a plane at landing or at takeoff, but not quite being able to get up in the air. Some of you may have felt that way in a relationship, or you just felt stuck, right? Stuck that it wasn't taking off, or it wasn't in the timetable that you wanted here. I'm just going to pull a card and see what this is all about. Spirit, what do we have here for the Ace of Pentacles showing up in the recent past? I mean, maybe some of you, this could be a brand new relationship. Okay, we have the Tower. Stopping old habits and ways regarding love. Some of those old habits were self-sabotaging, right? It could have been something based on some childhood wounding. You have the strength here, so you've had to overcome. And this is quite interesting as well, because the infinity symbol has been showing up for a lot of signs, specifically, let's see here, Leo, I believe it was, maybe even Cancer. So if some of you are on the Leo cusp, or you have Leo placements, or you're dealing with a Leo, you may want to check out that love and family reading as well, because this is about you aligning to be in the now. It's about patience as well. You have the Ten of Wands, definitely carrying some heavy burdens in the past. Some of you may have been supporting a partner in a hard time, or it felt one-sided, right? You were carrying the load. You were carrying all the burdens. And the Two of Pentacles is wanting to work together, wanting that reciprocity, wanting shared accountability on both ends. But I do sense that that may have been a little bit difficult for a lot of you. Let's get to the good juicy stuff. What are you manifesting, Virgo? What is showing up in your headspace? Hopefully you're not overanalyzing too much, but let's see what the potential is. What do we have here for Virgo, please? I do sense that some of you, again, there could have been a move. Okay, thank you. There may have been a move, or just a lot of burdens that were put on your shoulders, and you felt like you had to take care of them all. Now, it's interesting. You have two cards showing up, but one of them is a chakra card. This is the base chakra. This could be a situation that stemmed from very early on in your life. The root chakra is formed between the ages of 0 and 7, which also came up in Leo's reading as well. So the Nine of Wands is the card of the wounded warrior. Some of you have been wounded from a very young age. You've dealt with some parental energies, some sibling energies. It could be friendships, family dynamics. Some of you moved around a lot. Okay, this is about rest and reconsidering your path, but also learning and growing from it as well, because there's something around stability and foundation here for you that may have felt faulty. Some of you felt like you had to go it alone, right? You can see him. He's climbed this mountain, and he's come to a point where he's close to a finish line. He's close to wrapping something up or heading towards a brand new beginning. And for some of you, Some of you Virgos out there, the new beginning is around your birth month, August and September as well. So you want to wrap this cycle up. You want to go into a new phase, a new trip around the sun, where you're not carrying those heavy burdens of the Ten of Wands, of not being able to get something off the ground. The key, I feel, lies within your roots, your foundation. Take a look at some limiting beliefs. Take a look at family conditioning, things that may have been lodged within the body, creating dis-ease. I also sense some of you may have, on an energetic health level, please see the disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional. Some of you may have felt handicapped. You may have felt stuck or tethered to a situation. You may have had joint issues with the hips, the knees, the feet, the ankles, the legs. I'm also getting here, some of you had to rest because you were just too tired and you felt like you couldn't move forward physically, emotionally, spiritually. So I feel like you are building a new sense of foundation for yourself. And that's why this upcoming adventure is not just a want, but in a way, it's a necessity. You need this downtime. So embrace it. Instead of feeling the chaotic energy of, oh, I have to pack, I have to make sure that this is taken care of, just go with the flow, ask for help when need be, and know that all will be well. And this is going to be a really beautiful time and a beautiful month for you and your family, the people you connect with, loved ones, friends. Let's look into the near future. What's coming in? You are the first sign so far to get any chakra cards, which is interesting. And I see 2 of them here in your reading. The crown chakra. So isn't that interesting? You go from, and we're going to pull another card to clarify, but you go from the base chakra, also known as the root, which is located in the perineum area. It can be lower back region. Some of you have had back surgery, I'm getting as well. It can affect the hips all the way down to the toes. Now you have the base chakra. Now in the near future, you go all the way up the body to the crown. And the crown chakra is your belief system with your higher power. So there's this huge shift and turnaround where your higher self is saying, all right, Virgo, it's time for you to upgrade some of those patterns that you've had for a very, very long time. It's time for you to change up some energies, not carry the burdens. It's time for you to live a life that feels like you're fulfilled as well, right? This tin cup. All right, let's take a look and clarify the crown chakra. Could be a spiritual path, a spiritual journey. Some of you may even be visiting one of the 7 wonders of the world. You may be visiting, this is very specific, a monk or a healer or a seer. You may actually be visiting them in person as well. So very powerful here. I do sense that some of you are meeting new people on your spiritual path. Or you may meet someone new. It could be a lover, could be you and your family are connecting. But I do sense here that, okay, that's how you're feeling. Thank you. I do sense that there's going to be a divine connection showing up here and you have divine guidance. Yeah, the death card. It's going to help you release some energies, some issues that have been stagnant or dormant within your body, right? Something that maybe you wanted to numb, you don't want to feel, you don't want to deal with. Some of you could have even been around the age 7, 11, or 13 as the numbers that came up. Now the death card is a major release. It's a transformative energy here, major arcana. And this is all about a time of an ending, time of spiritual growth, hence the crown chakra. And isn't it interesting to note that from the heart, right? The heart is the turning point. The heart's the gateway to the upper chakras. So it's interesting to note that the base chakra isn't even illuminated in this because you've been working on releasing that. And now you've opened up the heart and you have this higher level that's completely taking over here. So I really love to see this showing up because there's a rebirth happening here. This is about you rising. So if there was a relationship that you wanted to start, if there's some sort of forgiving, mending, a family dynamic, I keep getting that father energy coming in for some of you, or grandfather, or very masculine female as well. Some of you may have some strong Germanic background as well, and I'm getting Italian, so you may be from Germany, or you may have history or ancestors from from Germany or Italy, please take that as it resonates, or maybe that's where you're from. But the Death card is beautiful combined with the crown chakra. It means you're undergoing a major spiritual revelation, and it's going to change your world for the better. Now, how are you feeling? How are you doing? This is all about you, Virgo. You're feeling a little bit, I like this showing up, and this has been showing up for so many signs. I like that this is showing up because it's justice, and it's talking about karma, right? It's talking about balance. It's the Libran energy here of equality, fairness, and truth. And in order to do that, in order to create and find that balance, you must detach yourself from that which you are attached to, right? And we have such a difficult time doing that as humans. We want to attach ourselves to our fame, our career, our money. We have these labels. And yes, it's important to we need to define. That's part of the duality here on earth. But sometimes we hang on too tightly to those labels, and we need to ask ourselves at times, who would we be without them, right? Who would we be? You're more than just that label. You're more than just a mother or a father or a caregiver or a nurse or a teacher or a light worker, right? There's this soul within you that is longing for more peace. And I feel like this is what you are craving. But in order to find more peace and more balance and more equality, we must detach from the outcome, or detach from a person, place, or thing. And this is also coming up. It's so interesting. I'm curious to see how many of you watch your rising, your moon, or you cross watch, but there's always an underlying an underlying factor that kind of is prevalent across all readings here. And it's interesting to note that this is a common theme coming up for a lot of signs, is not engaging in the things that keep us stuck, right? That devil energy, attachments. This is about you detaching, and a lot of you are ready to let go of an old pattern, an old belief, an old way of believing something, an old relationship, or an old wound that caused you to segregate yourself from a family member, from a loved one, or a child, or a mother for many, many years. Okay? Now, in order to it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, or it sounds a little bit of a dichotomy here, saying, well, Melissa, you're telling us to detach, but at the same time, it's going to bring us together. Well, that's really the key. You see that when you let go, when you don't necessarily have the expectation of the outcome of what it should look like, and you just let go and let God, or let go and go with the flow, you're going to see that the things that were resisting you tend to fall away as if by a miracle. But miracles are our natural state, Virgo. This is a time for miraculous, forms to show up in your world, because you're shifting on an internal level. So really powerful showing up with the justice. Let's take a look at what's going on in your environment. What is showing up for Virgo in their environment in the month of June? What do we have for Virgo, please? Oh, I knew you were going to get this. It's so interesting because, like I said, Leo, I believe, got this. Cancer, possibly. Definitely Leo, I feel. So for those of you that do have that Leo cusp or Leo in your chart, you may want to check that out. I feel almost verbatim here of the positioning even. But you have the devil. And we literally just talked about releasing yourself from attachments. That's the devil. The beautiful thing about the devil showing up here is it's in your environment, so you can see what this is. You know what it is for you. Most of the time we do, but sometimes that devil can be in our headspace. It can be lodged in our body, suppressed, and we don't always see it, right? But it's right here, wide open. And when this shows up in your environment, this could be a person, it could be something tempting you, it could be some sort of codependency. I'm getting here fears, obsessions, addictions. This is all about you reclaiming your power, freeing your power here, allowing yourself to have that life that you want. And we talk about that with the Eight of Swords as well. Whatever played out in the past for you, it doesn't have to define you in a negative way, right? Those family members who didn't treat you good, those people that abandoned you, that rejection, that person who ghosted, that harassment, that bullying, whatever this was here for you that you may have hung on to. I feel like it's time for you to open the bars that's around your heart chakra. And that's why you have release coming in. Because remember that the heart chakra is illuminated here in the near future. And this is going to allow you to open yourself up to not only self-love, but unconditional love for yourself. And that's going to reflect in your outer world. So you can attract the people that support and truly love you for who you are. Very powerful here, Virgo. Let's take a look at your hopes and fears. What are your hopes and what are your fears? Let us see. What do we have for Virgo, please? Okay, I do want 2 of them. Okay, final outcome and hopes and fears. Thank you. Hopes and fears position is clarified by darkest fears, 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is anxiety. It is, depression. It can be sleepless nights, tossing and turning, worrying, anxiety attacks, panic, right? You don't want those darkest fears. The hope is that you can eradicate them, that you can find solutions, that you have helpful people that can come in and help you reach the shadows and to pull them out of the closet, out of the deepest, darkest places, so you don't have to worry about when they come creeping in again, right? The 9 of Swords is all about, could be even obsessive thoughts with that devil. It can be about self-pity or despair, hopelessness. So I feel for a lot of you, I'm grateful that this is showing up in hopes and fears, because the hope can absolutely outweigh the fear. Practice the energy of gratitude. Start a gratitude journal. Raise your vibrations. Surround yourself with helpful people, inspirational leaders, coaches, shamans, therapists, people who inspire you, who uplift you. I'm also getting humor for a lot of you Virgos. Humor can be the antidote, right? That can be something that really pulls you into a higher vibrational frequency. Maybe watch, America's Funniest Videos, watch some cat videos on TikTok, or, read the funnies in the newspaper if that's still a thing, right? Put yourself in that energy of humor. I also sense that some of you may disguise your pain with humor. We've seen this before. Robin Williams is a perfect example. Robin Williams suffered from, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, which it showed up, as how his life had ended. And we see that sometimes people, they deal with their stuff through humor. Now, some of you, that could be you. For others of you, it's someone around you as well, because this doesn't have to be you. It can be the energy of someone around you as well. Please take this as it resonates. Now, your final outcome, Virgo, I'm loving this for you. You have the Magician. Look at all this major arcana here. I mean, you have the Judgment card, you have the Death, you have the Devil, you have the Justice, now you have the Magician. What a beautiful card to have as your final outcome, because the Magician says that you are the creator of your own world. You can manifest what you want, but the thing with manifesting is we manifest not based on wishful thinking, right? We don't just automatically show up in a coffee shop and say, I want to manifest my soulmate. That's the difference between wishful thinking, right? That is something that you need to raise your vibration to match the level of what it is that you seek, what it is that you desire. That's what manifesting is. So if you're able to raise your vibrations up out of this helplessness and hopelessness to helpful and hopeful, then you're able to manifest something that's more aligned and better suited to what you want. But if you are putting that energy out there that's on a lower frequency, that's what we see showing up in our world. So that saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it, rings true here for you as well. So if you want to manifest that relationship, put yourself in that energy first, right? If you want to manifest, a good relationship between you and a family member, or if you want to do the self-healing, you have everything you need in your toolbox to do so. That's the beauty of the Magician. The Magician has access to the wands to use their willpower, their creativity, their spiritual force to create what they want into reality. They have access to the cups, which is all about their emotions, their joy, their heart center, their feelings and relationships. They have access to the swords to cut things away that no longer serve them through power, through thought, through intellect. And then they have access to the pentacle realm, the coin, the physical, the earthly. to focus on positive health, positive prosperity, and gains. You have access to manifesting the world that you seek. Powerful reminder here. Now, last but not least, Virgo, let's take a look and get a message from the wisdom of the oracle. What do we have? And I will read to you the relationship message from the guidebook. What do we have for Virgo, please? All right, Virgo, we have the tribe. The tribe. And guess what? It's card 8, which we have. I thought we had the strength card showing up here for you. Oh, we have the 8 showing up as the challenge. So this is going to be really helpful when it comes to the challenges that you face. So card 8. Now again, some of you may be born on the 8th. You may be in an 8 personal year or even an 8 life path. You may want to check out some of the collective readings. I will link them in the description box below. If you feel pulled to watch any of them that you haven't already, please feel free to check them out. Now, this is all about community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, and knowing your place in the world. You are discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, and perhaps also those that you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads. And then there are times when you lead and the other person follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another. Accepting the truth that everyone has flaws is part of that dance, yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. Now again, whether this is romantic, whether it's a family situation or something you've struggled with, this is about you feeling and being seen and heard. And I'm going to read the protection as well. Beware of compromising your integrity in order to belong. How do you dim your lights or change yourself so others will accept you in the tribe? Do you hide who you really are in order to play a role within the larger role? This will never fulfill you. Now is the time to assess your willingness to be real. Stand tall. Be you. Authenticity is true self-expression and the only way to empower yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself and step into the role your heart tells you to take. Making yourself small bears too high of a cost. Beautiful energy here. I also love the giraffe showing up, which is interesting because giraffes have this higher perspective, right? They reach things. They're able to see things from a view that not many can that are on the ground. So I do feel here you are being divinely gifted, right? Through divine guidance, through higher self, through spiritual communication and connection. There's something that you'll be able to see that maybe you weren't able to see before. Really powerful. And if you caught that energy here of fulfillment, remember what it says is if you bear yourself small, if you try to dim your light to fit in, it's never going to fulfill you. And remember, you have the fulfillment card showing up here in your future. So this is about you filling your cup with those things that bring you happiness, filling your cup with your tribe, the people that believe in you and support you here. So really powerful energy. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button, Virgo. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe and bell. Feel free to do so. And I'd love to hear your comments and see how this resonates with your energy. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in, Virgo. Lots of love and light.